Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A very good evening to some of the other colleagues that are here. Allow me first of all to acknowledge and thank Brother Muhammad for introducing me. But very importantly, also allow me to acknowledge the role our brother Sharia and his community play in trying to uplift the communities in Johannesburg, but particularly in this area. My task, I think as you all are aware, that we politicians love to talk and talk and talk, but I've been given 15 minutes, so rest assured I'm not going to be talking much, and I know you are hungry. But two very, very important points that I want to talk about. What I see is a lot of brotherhood, sisterhood, lots of unity, people coming together, very happy together. And I like that, I admire that, I enjoy that. As a Muslim community particularly, we are very special in that our deen, the Quran, the Hadith teaches us values, integrity, unity, charity. The one challenge that I have is amongst us, and which is very, very important. Our brother Muhammad had just spoken about Palestine. In fact, I attended a function last night, and it was painful to hear of how this 12-year-old child that's imprisoned in a 1 meter by 1 meter cell with the food thrown on the floor. But what happens? We have organizations like the Palestinian Solidarity Movements, BDS, many others, doing their best to highlight the plight of our brothers and sisters and children in Palestine. But the question that we must ask, where are we? Why is life going on as normal? Why are we continuing our lives, not even recognizing the challenges that our brothers and sisters and children are going through in these areas? On that, I want to plead to us, I want to plead to each and every one of you that what we should be doing is we should be uniting under the banner of our deen, of our religion. We should be coming together. We should be coming together in our numbers when we are needed. You notice that there are marches taking place, marches throughout the country, but a handful of people participate in some of those marches. And the question that we need to ask is why? Why can we not all come together? Surely, if you lose a brother that was murdered or died in an accident or somebody violated the human right, we are all in uproar. We make a lot of noise. We blame the police. We blame the justice system. We do everything. But yet when this is happening there, we sit back and we're accepting it, and life is going on as normal. My brothers and sisters, I want you to urge each and every one of you, let us come together. Let us come together as one united nation so that we can fight the struggle. Recently, I've read the article of even the Irish, the Christian, the Catholic communities have started boycotting the Israeli products. How many of us, when we take a product, we have a look at it and see, are we not supporting the Zionist? This country particularly, the media is controlled by the Zionist. The banking industry is controlled by the Zionist, like they control the entire world. And we are allowing it to happen. Now, as a National Freedom Party and representing them in Parliament, I have already submitted a motion, and I'm glad my colleague is here from the African National Congress, and I'm today going to put pressure on him. This is a resolution of their Congress, of their conference that they took place last year on the downgrading of the South African Embassy in Israel as a very first step. What we have all agreed, and that is in no doubt, is that Israel is an apartheid state. What we haven't done is dealt with them yet, and we're hoping that this is going to be the first step. So Comrade Pula, I'm urging you, that motion is sitting at the table at the moment. We are awaiting your response from your whip to put it on the order paper so we can deliberate and resolve. Resolve to the extent that we could start taking some decisive action against the apartheid Zionist Israel for oppressing our people in Palestine. The second issue that I want to talk to you about, and I hope my comrade from the ANC is not going to misinterpret what I'm saying, but it's a fact, particularly in Africa. Liberation movements have a lifespan, particularly in ruling countries, ruling governments, and that is about 30 years. And the African National Congress have already governed for 24, 25 years almost. One more term to go. But what is very, very important, that right here now as we stand, as we sit here today, under the present government, we enjoy the freedom of our deen, the freedom of our religion. If we lose in 2019, if power goes to the other side, rest assured, you can say goodbye to the freedom of our deen and our religion in South Africa. It is imperative that each and every one of you in the Muslim community, and we make a very large number in this country, must come out. We must unite. We must stand together. We must be heard. We must participate. Because if we're not going to be part and parcel of the solution, we're going to be the problem. But what we find now, many organizations used to exist over a period of time. Muslim students organization, medical students organizations, in all the tertiary institutions. It's all disappearing because we are quite content. We have money, we have power, we have houses, we have cars, we have everything, and we are quite happy. How long more are we going to be happy? I want to urge us all, we must come out of that shelter. We must come out of that shell that we are in at the moment. And we must get our voices heard. We must participate actively. We must elect the leaders that we want. You cannot sit back and expect others to make the difference. Why should they do that? Politics, I want to assure you, is not about the people anymore. We need to change that. Today it's about self-enrichment, it's about power, it's about control. I'm sure you all watch Parliamentary Channel. What happens there? It's like a circus. Why? Because each and every political party there wants power, they want control, they want to control the resources. It's not about you and me. But only you can change that if you come out in your numbers and make that difference. Make the right choices. Choose the right leaders in your communities. You have leaders sitting here, but they are nowhere to be found in leadership in the country. And the question that arises, why? You need to inculcate that into our community, into our children, into our grandchildren. And if we don't do that, I want to assure you, we have a problem. And that problem is going to be very, very soon. If you see what is happening in the country at the moment, you've been a target. There are racial comments made about us Indian communities. But what they won't do is acknowledge the role that we played in South Africa and how we built this economy, how our forefathers came here to work on those sugarcane plantations, how they made a difference, how they sacrificed. Why? It's about power and control. Why? Because we, particularly us, we emphasized on one very important thing. We've provided our children with education so they can apply their minds. And we will not be misled. And that is why we sit with the problem today. We are the target. Are we going to sit back and allow this to continue? Or are we going to come out together, unite, and make a difference? Let our voices be heard. Let's choose those leaders right from the ground. Let's start inculcating into our children the values of leadership. Let them understand that unless they participate from that young age, we are not going to have our communities represented in the near future. And that is going to be detrimental to our religion and our deen. You've seen in the Western Cape, Pinelands, Goodwood, Tableview, Queensborough, Plettenberg Bay, all our masajids that we were wanting, those things were being opposed. And yet, what do we find? If you take the Western Cape particularly, has such a great Muslim majority there. But where are they? The one thing we are lacking as a Muslim community with everything we have is unity. We don't have it. And unless we unite, I want to emphasize again, we can say goodbye to the freedom that we enjoy in this country, particularly as a Muslim. I have already urged my colleague to come together and assist us, the Muslim community. I must also commend the African National Congress for the role they play in protecting the interests of the Muslim majority or the minority in South Africa. And I want to assure you that in my discussion with many of them, including the issue of parents, I think you've heard President Cyril Ramaphosa even say the other day that apartheid Israel must be dealt with. So we are certain that when that motion does come, it is going to be supported. One other point that I want to make, which is very, very important for us to understand. If in 2019, the power in this country moves over onto the Democratic Alliance. Now I want us to understand something, the way we were all brought up. We were brought up to understand that the white person was superior. There's no doubt about it. That is what we were brought up to believe. And I don't know if you watch some of our programs. I've actually exposed in the Western Cape, particularly the corruption in the Western Cape and the weaknesses. I want us to understand that if in 2019, South Africa has to hand over power to the Democratic Alliance and a coalition, we in South Africa, particularly the Indian community, the Muslim community, and those, and I want to also emphasize something very, very important. The struggle in Palestine is not only a Muslim struggle, it's a Muslim and a Christian struggle. It's nothing to do with religion. It's oppression, it's apartheid. It's occupation of land that belongs to the Palestinian people. That is loud and clear. And that is why you find the South African Council of Churches and many other organizations are part and parcel of us. And that is why we need to take advantage that if we do not allow or participate actively from now until 2019, until that election that comes, together united, together with the ruling party and together with those that are there in the interest of us, it is going to be the detriment of us as an organization, as a community. So my plea to one and all of you is today, brothers and sisters, let us put the differences that we may have, let us come together, let us be united, let us stand together, let us come out in our numbers when we are needed by the work that BDS is doing, the Palestinian Solidarity Organization, and the other organizations that the Rohingya Muslims that are going through. Let us come through, let us be seen, let us be seen. If we can do that, rest assured, we will achieve success. Assalamu alaikum, thank you very much.